draw. Yes. Go round. Yes. Sit. Speak. Speak. Go round. Yes. Hey everyone, Laura V here. Welcome back to another training episode. You may have seen Chester just do a few cute little basic tricks here for me, and you will have noticed potentially that I have rewarded him here and there during some of those behaviours. I want to talk to you about whether or not it is okay or when to phase out food as a reward. The idea of food for a dog is really very much out of a dog's control, and that's why it is so important for us to use food to reinforce good behaviours, because it gives our dogs a sense of control in that they do something good and they get food. Now food of course means that you get to survive, and that is the ultimate motivator for any living being, including a dog. So food really does have an intrinsic value to the survival and well-being of a dog, and I love the idea of us getting our dogs to do things for food rather than getting it out of a big free bowl that often dogs get for breakfast and dinner. So can you actually phase out food once you've trained your dog? Now this is really good for people who have a puppy or people who have just adopted a rescue dog and they've spent a couple of weeks teaching their dog to sit and to drop and to stay and to come when they're cold or walk nicely on lead. Now when do we phase out the food, Laura? Well, guess what? You never phase out the food, and here's why. It's kind of like saying, hey Laura, or hey you, I want you to work really hard and do a really good job, and I'll pay you at the start. I'll pay you every week. You're going to have the same amount of pay. Sometimes you might get paid a little bit more. If you do a really good job, you'll get a bonus, but then maybe after a while I'm probably going to stop paying you. So I still want you to work really hard. I still want you to do a great job and work above and beyond and be great at what you do, but you're actually not going to get paid for it. You're going to have to figure that out yourself. Are you going to want to work? Most people will say no, and it's the same thing for dogs. In fact, even dogs, if they're not getting paid, will still probably do the job. But that's not really fair, and it's not about building a trusted, respected relationship with your dog. So yes, you can reduce the amount of food that you use during training, but when I say reduce, what I really mean is you make it random. You build in what's called an intermittent schedule of reinforcement, where you get your dog to do behaviours, but they only get that high value reward randomly. And sometimes when they do a really good job, you jackpot the reward. And that, in terms of the psychology of learning, can make your dog even more motivated to work for you. So for example, after you've got your dog to understand a basic command like sit, for example, you might get your dog to come in to sit. Yes, you mark the word. Free! Yay, good boy. So this time I've just told him he's a really good boy. The next time, so he didn't actually get a food reward. The next time I'm going to ask him to sit. Yes. Free! Yay, well done. And he gets more than he expected the second time of food. So what's actually happening here is now that he understands what the word sit means, he becomes even more motivated. Sit. Yes. Free! Good boy. Sit. Yes, free! Yay, good boy, well done! He becomes more motivated because he knows that there's a great chance at some point very soon he's going to get more than what he was expecting. So yes, you can reduce the amount of food in essence, but you make it random. If you phase out treats altogether, in my opinion, and some people will disagree with this, but in my opinion, you are doing a disservice to the value of your relationship with your dog. There is no harm in having a treat pouch every here and there. There's no harm in getting up and going to your pantry and getting a treat from your cupboard when your dog has just happened to be doing something great. Please think about dog training from your dog's perspective more than from your perspective, because ultimately these are the guys that you're working with, these are the guys that you're training, and these are the guys that have their entire existence in your hands. Make life worth living, and we know for a highly motivated dog like Chester, for example, and Elmer, life is only worth living for food. What's the point in denying them that? I'm Laura V, guys. Thank you so much for watching my dog training session. I hope you're enjoying all of them. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well.